Hello, and welcome to the Kathleen Spracklin podcast. I am a woman on a mission to gather a cadre of writers, thinkers, and teachers who are transforming the world one character at a time. And it all starts with one thing, a deep understanding of human motivation, why people do what they do, and the forces that drive them. To gain that understanding, I am mining the intersection of psychology, theology, and philosophy to make you a better writer. This is episode number 78, Writing with Emotion, How the Book Came About, Part 4. I've been telling the story of how I, a computer programmer, ended up writing a book for writers. And this is part 4 of the story, so it's kind of in the middle if you haven't caught on to the ones before. And tonight I want to tell you about a little side thing that happened all the while I was busy trying to solve my niece's problem. You see, this was a complete side path to me. In August of 2022, I received a solicitation in the mail. It was a request for a contribution to the Dominican Sisters of Mary, Mother of the Eucharist. And the materials looked very interesting, and so I got online to investigate a little bit further because I thought I might make a small donation. And what I found there was just an incredible world of a website, a group of people devoted to this concept of educating elementary school children in the virtues. Now, I was completely unfamiliar with them other than I did know there was such a thing as the 4 cardinal virtues. I'm not sure I could have named them, but, beyond that, I hadn't been terribly educated, and I had grown up as a cradle Catholic. So that was kind of interesting to me. And in particular, a 6-part video series caught my attention, and being a keeper of a Zettelkasten, I took bib notes on it. I was absolutely fascinated with what they were managing to do with elementary school children and the way it had changed the atmosphere in the classrooms. Well, towards the end of that video series, Dr. Karen Villa joined Sister John Dominic, who was the Sister John Dominic Rasmussen, who was the author of the book Education, An Educator's Guide to Living a Virtuous Life. This is the book that went along with the video series, which I ended up buying. And the interesting thing that came about when Dr. Karen Villa joined it was she was talking about research being done in the field of positive psychology and how the 4 cardinal virtues lined up with positive character traits. And so that was very fascinating to me that we had an area of agreement between the writings from the 1200s of St. Thomas Aquinas and modern psychology research. Well, one thing that this book included, which was quite delightful to me, was it had with every section a reference sheet to where you could find in the 7-volume set of the Summa Theologiae where to look for the relevant virtues. And I ended up getting 5 of these different volumes, and the fun part of these was it's Latin and English. I happen to have minored in Latin in college, and so I thought, wouldn't it be great fun to see how much of my Latin would come back to me? And I found that it was really a lot of fun. But what really caught my attention, first of all, the clarity of the writing was just astounding. Sometimes I found it difficult to get the translation, and if the translation didn't make much sense, the Latin sometimes was actually easier to understand. But his writing is so logical and so well developed and so straightforward. And you cannot miss the number of times that he references Aristotle, whom he refers to as the philosopher. So now I realized that these virtues were at the intersection point of psychology, theology, and philosophy. Now, if you have something where those three fields all are in agreement, you've got a pretty solid core going there. And I found it very fascinating, and for me it was a side venture, an area I was exploring in my Zettelkasten, delighting in taking all kinds of notes and becoming very steeped in the material. Because for one thing, this Educator's Guide is approached from the standpoint of teaching the virtues to elementary students, whereas if you get into the Summa, you get a little bit more of some of the more grown-up challenges. So to me it was absolutely fascinating, and little did I know that this side venture that was so fascinating to me would turn out to be the solution to my niece's problem. But for that, you have to wait until tomorrow. It will be in the next part. So thank you. And just for a reminder, so you don't forget, my book is about to come out. It's about to be ready to be released. I have my author's copy, and I'm just thrilled with the quality of the book, the printing, everything about it is just really, really happy with it. And just probably in the matter of maybe 10 days even, it will be ready to be ordered. So if you want to be one of the first ones to find out about it, and I'm going to make it available absolutely at cost, you can just sign up to my early bird list, KathleenSpracklin.com/earlybird, and you can find out what the course covered. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.